I'm told that Mr. Charnas is accompanied by his legal counsel, Mr. Eric German. So, Mr. Merkin, I hope we didn't get off on the wrong foot the last
Well, I
time
didn't
we spoke.
care for that introduction there, Ryan, to say the least. When we were in New York,
Yes.
it was a little contentious, but I'm looking forward to a lively debate today as well. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for having me.
I know that it's well established that I was up for the Bayonet Award the same year you were. And I just want to say before we start that I'm not influenced by that.
Well, that's all right. Now, who won that Bayonet Award that year? If I can't quite remember, now that's 2017. Do we know who won the Bayonet Award?
It really doesn't. I mean, winners, losers.
Maybe we'll just shout it out.
I believe it was Carrot Top won it that year.
Anybody want to shout out who won the Bayonet Award? Roy Merkin, that's correct. I won the Bayonet Award that year, and so I'm very sorry for your loss, but I relished in my prize.
Well, we can have a separate conversation about election integrity when it comes to the Bayonet Awards.
Stop the steal.
Mr. Downey, if I may interrupt,
Please.
On the subject of integrity, I want to remind everyone that this book that we're here to talk about today is a work of fiction. It's for entertainment purposes only. And while we're all here to have a good time, and Mr. Merkin was Merkin 9 to 5 in this very room at the karaoke night the other night.
Thank you very much
I want
for
to
saying so. Got to bring some country to this rock and roll, I'll tell you that much. Right?
I want to remind you, Mr. Merkel, while we're all here to have a good time, any implication of liability, culpability, or impropriety on behalf of Mr. Charnas will be shut down immediately.
Can we get him off the stage? This is...
I've been informed that he has a legal right to be present. Mr. Charnas, for some reason or another, felt that his legal counsel should be here. I don't know what that says, but...
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of OJ, so I kind of just follow his lead. OJ the drink.
Hold up those hands for me, Spencer. Yeah, the gloves fit. These gloves fit.
They do not fit.
So, Mr. Merkin, if I may, could you tell us a little bit about not only what inspired you to write this book, but I don't know, one might say some of the implications in there seem to run a little bit counter to what had been established prior to the book's publication. So.
Sure. Yes. Well, as you very well know, Dr. Ian Black was tragically passed away, was blamed for a number of deaths. I believe that Spencer Charnas may have been behind those deaths. You've undoubtedly, around this convention, seen some of the actors who played those characters in the film that came prior to the book. And eventually, after writing this book, coming up with the name The Silver Stream, mind you, and I know that we've discussed this.
Trademark.
We've discussed this at length. Coming up with that name, I was fortunate enough to have Dr. Ian Black's original notes. I went through them. I felt Spencer was the real killer. And from that, Spencer eventually signed on to work on this book with me, which I think is the largest admission of guilt I have ever heard in my life.
Well,
but I'm so lucky to have him.
Excuse me, Mr. Merkin, and you'll take this, Eric, but aren't the notes are up for debate in terms of the handwriting? I've heard that we brought in a handwriting expert, and it did not match any of his other, documentation, his signature, his V's. Dr. Ian Black's V's were like perfect triangles, and the V's in the alleged notes were less than perfect triangles. You want to elaborate on this?
These notes certainly didn't meet the standards of admissibility for federal evidence.
Innocent till proven guilty!
He's going to get his day in court, folks. Don't you worry about that.
Are we to presume then that there's an implication that those notes upon which your book is based were
We have the book here.
There's the book right there.
Available in stores everywhere around this.
the book.
Where good books are sold, yes.
Where all books are sold.
Are we to understand that perhaps the veracity of those notes are in question, that they were maybe forged?
In a word, no.
Doctored, I think, is the
That's all I'll take.
terminology. Doctored.
I'll leave you with that. No, not forged.
So what inspired you to tell this story in this book, and to what extent are you willing to stand behind its assertions?
Well, I'd say the victims' families, making sure that they had a voice through me to find and convict, eventually, we hope, the correct killer, and not just to lay it in the ground with Dr. Ian Black.
Are any of the victims' families here? Just raise your hand. I saw one in the back earlier.
We have a couple over here.
No, they're dead? Okay.
All right.
I do understand that a portion of the proceeds from this book are going to a charity established for the
Yep.
victims' families.
Yes,
Is that correct?
absolutely. A small sum. Spencer.
Could you remind me what that amount is? Percentage-wise?
I don't think we should discuss
I don't think
the
we-
figures here, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Downey, this is a community here. We're here to discuss the book itself. We can
Okay.
do the business stuff.
Well, we could, if we could ask all cameras be turned off for about 30 seconds. Okay.
It's a portion of the proceeds. It's a
We'll
small,
just leave it at that.
small sum.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
A portion.
Paid for part of the caskets, yep.
We did. Well, they were from Costco, which is a great deal for me to
Casket royale.
bulk
Yeah.
purchase them.
Yeah.
Okay, and when we're saying a portion of the caskets, are we thinking like the handles?
The pillow.
Who really knows?
But some money's going to
Very
the
comfortable. Very comfortable.
So it sounds like, Mr. Merkin, what you're saying is that you really did this for the victims.
I did.
Certainly not for the, I don't know,
Not for myself.
self-aggrandizing press.
No,
or
sir. No, sir.
publicity
If I
you're
get a
getting
little attention now and again, it's purely accidental, purely incidental. I absolutely was not seeking that. And look at this room full of people here. I mean, this is sort of who we get. For
Mr.
these kind of
Merkin,
things.
all of the people in this room can see on your very Instagram at Roy Merkin. We've been
Well, at the real
monitoring
Roy.
that.
Real
yeah,
Roy.
at the real Roy Merkin,
Oh,
we've
okay.
been monitoring that Instagram account, and I would beg to differ that you're not doing this for notoriety or celebrity.
Well, agree to disagree.
Yeah. How many people in this room have actually read the book?
Well, fair few people. Oh, look at that.
And let's just get a little vote here. Who's for guilty? Raise your hand. All right.
Very powerful three.
Yeah.
Very powerful three.
Innocent.
But no one said right here, so we don't know.
But they're talking
Well,
about
we don't. Okay. I'm guilty?
I think we were talking about me,
Oh.
right? Right, ladies and gentlemen? And how about my ironclad alibi?
Oh, boy.
I was at the dentist.
No. A root canal does not take
Not a
place
root
over
canal.
3
My
months.
bicuspid was off center.
Oh my goodness. It's the whole bicuspid story. We've heard the bicuspid, everybody in this room has heard the bicuspid story 16 times now. And I'll tell you, not only have you changed it from an incisor to a bicuspid, but also it does not take months and months to have dental work done. This is absurd. You must have
Yes,
the
it
teeth of a
does.
child.
I'm going to assert my fifth
There is a
amendment.
wait list.
I just want to point out the only murders that Mr. Charnas has ever conducted took place at the Lynn Auditorium last night.
And the one actual death for the security guard, that's what we're not talking about.
I saw that show, and I will say, very theatrical. It showed a person who could fool a lot of people, perhaps many in this room, and get away with even something so grossly ridiculous as murder, I would say.
I believe Skeet is still here, so I don't know if you want to talk about him like that.
He loved the show, I think. I saw him
Now,
at the
I,
show.
as a objective journalist who believes in truth,
As do I.
I can't say I can really neither confirm nor deny whether or not Iceland Kills murdered the crowd last night. I would say
They killed it.
I don't know how I feel about a lawyer with so many murder puns. I think we need to... You get the clients you deserve, sir. You get the clients you deserve. Okay.
Well, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.
Second Amendment. Could be a slogan.
That was not an admission of guilt either. That was just the Cochran firm slogan.
Well, I think, perhaps if we could gain a broader understanding of your motivations, your curiosities, your interests, your proclivities. What is Roy Merkin all about beyond the silver screen? What do we really know about you besides what's
Well,
printed on
first
the
and
back of this
foremost,
book?
I'm an American. And I wear that on my chest, very proudly. I'm a gun-owning American.
Would you
I'm
say
from
you
Texas,
support the troops?
But I don't. I do support the troops.
Okay.
But
I do
in-
not-
Which side?
It's nice to be on the winning side, I'll tell you. U.S. of A. undefeated in world wars.
You're a Cowboy fan, right, Mr. Merkin?
I am America's team.
No!
This afternoon, I'll be rooting for the Eagles. Excuse me, the Patriots against the Eagles because I hate the Eagles. So
Can you enlighten us a little bit
Patriots?
on the
Patriots?
on the backstory of the NRA pancake supper that you were picturing?
I was at a pancake breakfast. It was delicious. I was there with some of my friends. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson. Where do you think he got the bow tie from? I've been wearing it long before Tucker. Sean
Hannity,
Sean was
personal
there.
friend of
Sarah
yours.
was there. Of course, Charlton Heston was not there, but he was there in spirit because he was spending quite a
Is it
while.
true that you participated in illegal polar bear hunting with Sarah Palin? That's just something I read. I'm just doing my research.
I'll tell you, she's a wild gal. What they do up in Alaska, what's legal in Alaska is legal in Alaska, and I'll leave it at that. So I can't confirm nor deny.
So what would you say really drives you? I mean, on the one hand, you have said justice for the victim's family.
Yeah.
On the other hand, some have said, I don't know, tabloid, sensationalism, self-serving. These are other people's words.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll just field the question now. We can stop there. Justice drives me. Justice for the victims' families. The truth drives me. I'm a journalist at first and foremost. And I think that this great country can only survive with great people. And keeping great people means putting ungreat people behind bars. And sometimes those people, like Spencer here, shouldn't be out with the rest of us because, quite frankly, they're not so great. That's how I feel.
Mr. Merkin, I want to remind you the law of defamation is equally powerful in Massachusetts as it was in New York, and as it will be at any other times that you're talking about this book.
Why don't you come down to Texas, say that to my face? Try that in a small town.
That sounds like a threat to me. Is it a threat?
If you truly feel that Mr. Charnas was responsible for these gruesome murders that have really been, I think, proven to have been committed by someone else, but let's go with your theory for a moment.
Sure. Okay.
Why is it that you were so not only willing, but one would say anxious and eager to sit on a stage in front of a crowd of people with Mr. Charnas and to perhaps even have his participation in the promotion of this book?
Well, because, and I know this is a hostile room for me, but I think people should always go in front of their adversaries. Just like Spencer will face a jury of his peers someday for everything that he did, and I am certain that that will happen.
Now, you do have, since we are talking about legalities, you have a couple of pending charges yourself, right? I mean,
I don't think we need to go into
I think 16 DUIs.
I don't think we need to go into
in the span of 3 years.
Well,
I mean, it might as well be a Kennedy because.
It wasn't quite 16, I
Well,
think.
you also spent some time in Chapel
Exaggerating a little bit. That's
Mr. Merkin,
exaggerating.
we've investigated that hunting license, and it is invalid.
Well,
And you have been quoted as saying that you tried jogging, but you couldn't keep the ice cubes in your glass. Is that true?
Well, I'll tell you, that cars, they come with a lot of cup holders, and it's really just tempting there. You got to fill them. We got a saying down in Texas about that. It's a car got a lot of cup holders, you got to keep it full. And that's just how I roll. But it was not 16. But don't listen to what he says. This doesn't.
17. Sorry.
Well, it was a bit lower, but yes, we've had some trouble. We have drive-through liquor stores in Texas, and you get outside of there, and it's like all of a sudden you got rules and everything, and you know, we believe in the rule of law for murder, but come on, I didn't kill anybody. This guy over here, sure.
Well, vehicular manslaughter is still killing someone.
I do. That's not. He doesn't know. Yeah, it's not what happened.
It's just, you know, I mean, look, we
Small
understand it was a rainy, slippery bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to, again,
A
be
small
impartial here.
scratch, and I think we're done with that. I think we need to move on.
Well, I just want to say, I think it's very
Defamation,
amusing that Mr. Merkin is suddenly very concerned with the accuracy of factual allegations. I think he ought to remind
We're
himself.
not here to adjudicate my life or my. I don't want that here.
That's a different book.
That's for Spencer. That's what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about me. We're not here to talk about any indiscretions I may or may not have had. We're here to talk about this book.
Does the audience agree with that?
Go through this is ridiculous.
Well, again, I do want to
crap.
point out that although I, have written a number of things for Iceland Kills, including the Into Blood 2 book, which is coming out soon on Z2 Comics. But I am very much like you. I am a journalist, and I'm very impartial. I'm not here to, declare anyone's
An
innocence or
intro would
guilt.
say otherwise, but go on.
But yeah, my objectivity is really without question. In fact, my objectivity appears as a line item on each of my invoices, so I won't have a question.
From the band. Please, you're on the payroll.
My question is,
He's on the payroll of Iceland Kills. He's on the payroll of Iceland Kills. And it's ridiculous. So of course you're not impartial.
but it seems that your story has changed, right? Because at one point you, like the rest of us, knew who the real killer probably was. I mean, what changed?
I
with you
believed
and
it was
Mr.
Spencer
Charles?
from the start, and when I had Spencer sign on to this, I believed it was an admission of guilt, and I thought we were riding that train down the same track. But all of a sudden, he changed his story.
I
He's
believe
coming
the
up with
book was more in the
alibis.
spirit of If I Did It, which is a great work of
If I Did
fiction,
It.
if you're not familiar.
But what about your newscast from when Dr. Rick Black was founded? You said that you wished
I did.
me luck in the hospital.
Well,
Thoughts and prayers. What
thoughts
was that
and
about?
prayers to
Was that just
the
lip
families.
service, Mr. Merkin?
No, from then on, I believed the same thing I believe now is that man is innocent. He is innocent. Oh, thoughts and prayers to you.
You gave thoughts and prayers to me.
Oh, no, well, my tune changed. I see
Yeah,
what
well,
you're
I
saying.
clearly.
Initially, it appeared because you are a wizard, sir. You are a very,
I had minor
very
flesh
convincing
wounds.
individual. I mean, look at all these people you have here. All
Oh,
of
you
these
think I
so-called
have
families,
food?
you call them psychos. It's ridiculous.
And I'm proud of being psychos, ladies and gentlemen, right?
A badge of honor.
We do not judge a book by its cover.
Oh.
So you should read it. I'll
And,
tell you.
and hearing you cast aspersions of the psychos, I mean, bigotry against the neurodivergent is real.
These people, they glorify violence against people, and it's sickening. And they got a murderer at the helm, and that is what I'm trying to point out to people with writing this book, is that it might have happened a little bit differently than maybe you all think, and maybe all the people who've put this thing to rest think. But I'm telling you, what's in this book is truth, it's fact, it is not a work of fiction. Well, okay. Well, you read it for yourself. We only had about 30, 40 people, 50 people read it.
Did anyone see the American Case File episode? Anyone see it out there? So yeah.
Diane's here. She was here today. I saw her earlier. Diane, well, we were,
I feel like
Good-
there's some
good episode.
hypocrisy in what you're saying right now because you defended the West Memphis Three
I did.
in the episode of American
Innocent.
Case File.
Innocent. They were
It was a
innocent.
rush to judgment.
They were found innocent. This was a rush to
20 years
judgment
later,
against. This was a rush to judgment.
I feel
against-
like you're doing exactly what they did.
No.
This is
No,
a
it's
witch
different.
hunt.
No,
Do you
it's
guys agree
absolutely
this is a
different.
witch hunt?
It was a rush to judgment against Ian Black This was a rush to judgment against Ian Black.
A Russian judgment?
It was a Russian
Bigotry know no bounds, sir.
I,
A Russian judgment. I've never even heard that phrase.
I'm glad that you brought up the American Case File episode because, as you should have learned your lesson from that, Mr. Merkin, there are certain things even major media outlets are not willing to stand behind and to publish.
Well.
So I think that you need to be quite careful, sir.
And how about the letter, the suicide note that Dr. Ian Black, did anyone, read that? I mean, clearly he
Or
had...
authenticated? Was that authenticated?
That was not
That was
authenticated. No,
authenticated.
it was not authenticated.
Yes, our legal
It was not.
team... our
As you
legal
just said earlier, it does not match the notes. The notes are real. The suicide note
No.
is not.
We had a handwriting expert
Unbelievable.
completely
No.
go through every single
Did
word, every
not.
single letter, and they completely verified that it was written by Dr. Ian Black.
No.
His handwriting
No,
matches
folks, do
that
not
of the
listen. Folks,
suicide
this
note.
is manipulation. You are all being manipulated right now by a master manipulator, Spencer Charnas, and you do not. I would not listen to what he says.
Fits, you must acquit.
No one contested the veracity of that handwriting. I'm telling you, it was Dr. Ian Black. He had a long-standing resentment against the medical community. A lot of the people that he grew up with, the people he went to college, they were all published before him, and he had a chip on his shoulder. And then he killed all those people. It wasn't
Well,
me.
I think that's a
My
little more
dentist-
illegible than what we have.
My dentist can verify
It
it.
is much. The dentist again. The old dentist alibi. We've heard it a number of times.
Now, as a fellow journalist who strives to be impartial, and again, I have no favoritism here. Man, I really feel like you're being a jerk.
As I said, it's a hostile crowd. Not a room I'm used to being in.
No, these people like the movie Hostel. You got that backwards. Again, a work of fiction.
Well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
and-
Well, okay, wait, how many people?
themselves.
How many people out there like violent media? Make clear sense. How many people have actually committed a murder?
I saw
There's one guy who raised his hand with Skeet back there. That's it.
Now, how many of you have been nominated for a Bayonet Award? I mean, I have several times been nominated.
Won a Bayonet Award.
No, I didn't
Won-
say that. I was
won a
nominated.
Bayonet Award. Well,
Being nominated, it's pretty much the same thing as winning.
you have a very obvious bias here, sir.
I'm just saying,
You're
it
not
was,
only won the
there were a
Bayonet
lot of
Award.
questions about
Well,
the
you
election
like,
integrity in 2017.
Well, you like Dr. Ian Black.
And you like
didn't
talking about
win
election
anything.
integrity. Why not the Bayonet Awards?
I'm not talking about that today. Today, I'm talking about this book. And I'm not going to go into what I report on and who I report for and what news outlets I tend to watch and consume. They are probably not the same ones as the folks in this room.
I think just by looking at your Instagram and who you follow,
A little more,
I think we could get a pretty good picture of who you are, Mr.
well,
Lincoln.
a little more friends of Fox and Friends and than whatever you folks are into. Every kind
Yeah,
of bloody,
and I'll tell
disgusting
you the
things
same thing that I told you at the 2018 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Never hit a woman.
That was a low blow, I'll say. Never hit somebody when they're down. You don't hit somebody below the belt. I don't remember that dinner.
I can see why. How many whiskey sours was that? 7, 8?
We're moving on.
Look, Mr. Merkin, on your The Real Roy Merkin Instagram,
Oh, boy.
I see a statement here that says that you continue to pursue aggressive legal action against this
Yes,
very
well-
con, claiming you own the trademark.
I-
Anyone here with a simple tool of Google can search the United States Patent and Trademark Office and look to see who owns the trademark silver screen. It is one Spencer
The
Charnas.
Silver Screen. The Silver Screen. A book I began years ago, Silver Screen Con, started last year. How many people were here last year? People here last year? Just last year. How many people were here 2 years ago? Right, because it didn't exist. Okay.
If you trademark
1
the
year.
name, the person who
This book
trademarks it first.
been around, wrote it years ago. Right after
Well,
the
if you watch
no
the
more than-
trailer online, it said it came out 2 weeks ago.
Well, it did just finally come out because book publishing takes time. You have to write all, you gotta put all the words on
you
the
had to
page.
find a publisher that
Well,
would
you gotta
publish
shop
that
it
trash.
around. You gotta shop it around. It's tough. Luckily, we have a
Well, let me
wonderful publisher,
cool
Rare
things
Bird.
down just a little bit.
Okay.
Let's cool things down. Let's everybody back to their corners and take a breath. I understand, you are aware that Spencer is in a band.
Correct.
Okay, so
Ice Nine Kills.
to believe then, let's say,
Red
again,
Velvet Shirts.
objectively here, for the sake of argument, let's say your theories hold any water whatsoever. Would it be fair to say then that the members of the band are accomplices?
Well, they were certainly along for the ride, I'll tell you that very much. They were always there, present, as Spencer was committing a killing spree across the country.
They were actually
with him
getting
on
dental
all
work
tour.
done at the same time. You have the same dentist.
Must have very, very expensive mouths. All
Dr. Plotka.
I
all the
believe,
better
that
for lying to these
I
people.
believe that the members of the band have a right to
Bring
face
them
their
out.
accuser as well. So I swear we counted the chairs earlier.
I thought we did.
So what happened?
Let's go, Ricky!
Fellas, how we doing all the way down there?
We were well. We're good.
Innocent, one might say.
What? Say again?
Innocent, one might say. You feel?
Oh, yes.
innocent?
Oh, extremely innocent. More innocent than I felt yesterday, actually.
Mr. Downey, the only ride that they've been along for is the limo ride to the stadium tour with Metallica this past
One limo for the whole crew. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. So we have a packed panel room. We've had a packed panel room all weekend. One more time for yourselves. If you have questions, which I think you do, for Spencer, the members of Ice Nine Kills, or Mr. Merkin, please raise your hand. A microphone will find you. Tell us your name and where you're from. There's a roving microphone man somewhere. He's behind me. He's coming.
You found it.
You guys have no idea this wall does.
We'll start with you.
Hello.
Hi, Felicity.
I'm sorry you have to deal with the man or boy. How do you deal with this man? Like, always pushing me back.
Throw him out of my dad's plane.
I'm going to let my lawyer handle that one, as I was instructed to do so.
Gentlemen, would you care to answer the question?
I think we limit our time around Mr. Merkin to as less time as possible, the least amount of time as possible being around this man. It's really affected my sleep schedule.
German just keeps saying something about how there's always a way to take care of this, and then he says wink, wink, nudge, nudge afterwards, but nothing actually happened.
I'm glad you've been listening, Rick.
Well, I feel like my sleep schedule is going to start to get affected as well with that kind of thing. At least we got a lawyer
We
after
do
all.
have our roving microphone man now. He will seek you out. Dealer's choice. Just tell us your name and where you're from and your question.
I'm Ramsey, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And this is actually a question for Roy. Other than the alleged notes from the therapist there, why are you so convinced that it's not a copycat?
Copying who, Spencer?
Copying the music videos.
Copying the music videos. Well, Spencer made the music videos. He's in the music videos. He had intimate knowledge of the music videos. Why would it not just be him? Sometimes
Why
the
would I be that
simplest
stupid?
answer is sometimes the simplest answer.
Well, why can't they link any of my DNA to any of the crime scenes?
Well, you're a very good cover-up artist. And you
So I
have
was
the
wearing
cleats.
gloves.
You're wearing gloves right
I
now.
didn't drop a knit cap or anything.
I thought she was going to ask about the extradition charges you have pending in Canada.
Well, we're not. I'm not welcome in Canada. I don't want to go there anyway.
They do not like DUIs in Canada.
Well, they
I'll
do
tell you
not.
that.
They do not.
Hi, my name is Jalissa. I'm from
Oh,
New
there you are.
Jersey.
Everyone's from New Jersey. Who's here from New Jersey? New Jersey.
My question is actually for Roy. Why should we trust your judgment on Spencer and the rest of the band when clearly you're just looking for your 15 minutes of fame?
Absolutely. Years of journalistic work, years of poring over the notes, of interviews, of meeting with the families of the victims, of sitting down with folks like Spencer, putting this whole thing together. How could you possibly, in the few minutes that you've been here and maybe some cursory look through this book, know more than me about this case? I do not think you do. And I'm not going to listen to somebody from New Jersey about
Wait, didn't you go to Hofstra undergraduate?
I did not. I went to University of Austin, Texas.
I think I saw some guys in some tracksuits in the parking lot. Who,
By the way, you want a job later? Shoot me a DM.
Sorry, you went to Rutgers, which is in
Hofstra's
New
in Long
Jersey.
Island. So, yeah, Hofstra's on Long Island.
questions.
Hi, my name is Nina and I'm from Finland.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for coming all the way from Finland.
Thank you,
Wow.
there's 4 of us. My question is actually about the Silver Screen Con, and I was wondering if you could bring it to Europe one day, maybe in Finland, because there is like so dark most of the year that we don't have anything else to do than just watch scary movies and listen to Ice Nine Kills.
Absolutely. Who thinks we should bring it to Europe? Done deal. Who here is from outside the United States? Wow. Shout out where you're from.
Scotland.
That's
We had a
amazing.
great time playing in Finland on this past tour. Our first
Yeah,
time heading to
Scotland,
Finland.
yeah.
It was fantastic.
Oh, you were there.
Fantastic.
See that?
It was beautiful.
He's getting his steps in.
I'm Madison from Austin, Texas, and my question is for the band.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Texas.
Roy, home state.
I know. Yeah, we know you're from Texas. You won't shut up about it. Austin's
Not
a
you,
little
not you.
loud.
Him.
Austin.
My question is, when did you guys start playing your instruments or singing? And did you take lessons or were you self-taught?
I started playing percussion and the drums in the year of 2001. So that's 22 years ago. Yeah, and I did take lessons. I took lessons in school. I took lessons outside of school to help me read music. But as for a lot of the drum set stuff, I self-taught and listened to a lot of music and just tried to figure out what they did. That's how I did it.
I started playing an instrument, piano, at a very young age, and my father, who's right over here, he's also a musician and plays guitar, so he was definitely very influential on my playing and started me very young, so thanks, Dad.
And Mr. O'Cutie actually joined us on stage in London and played bass.
As the pro. Frank the pro.
Well, I started playing guitar in 2004 and got very into it probably about, okay, thank you, 5 or 6 years into it, started taking it very seriously. I was taking a lot of lessons in school as well as outside of school, and yeah, the technique stuff was more or less self-taught, I think, but it was mostly instructed. So.
I started around 2000 as I got a bass guitar, and then I got a guitar to be in a different band, and then I switched over to vocals. At a certain point, I toured in a band for years doing vocals, and then I became a music producer, I don't know, like maybe 11 years ago or something like that. And then I came back to this and had to get more serious about guitar, but mostly self-taught. with everything.
I started playing guitar probably when I was 8. I saw the video for Smells Like Teen Spirit on MTV, and I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. So that's when I started playing guitar and singing. Grew my hair long, bleached it, got a bunch of flannels, and the rest is history.
Roy, you don't play an instrument, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't think bullshit is an instrument, is it?
Mr. Merker plays fast and loose with the truth.
Heavens.
I think they cut your mic, sorry.
As they should.
Whoa!
Someone else has a mic. Okay.
I'm Hannah. I'm from Methuen, Massachusetts.
Where are you? There you are. Who here is from Massachusetts? Oh, wow.
And I was wondering, so how does it affect your band members that you've been incriminated? And, I mean, it's kind of messing up some tours, right?
I don't give a shit.
I just want to point out, no criminal charges have been filed against Mr. Charnas.
Never.
Right, there was pushing the European tour back a little bit. That affected us a
But
little
being
bit.
a person of interest is not being charged for crime.
Correct.
Yep. And
We'll
Mr.
have you
Simpson
off
will
the
tell you
road in
that.
no time, I'll tell you that.
And we can all agree that you are an interesting person. So
Right. I'm always a
what's wrong with
person of interest, yeah.
Stay out of our business and we'll stay out of yours.
Yeah.
My name's Aiden and I'm from New Hampshire. Spencer, last year someone asked if you were gonna make a Five Nights at Freddy's music video, but you said you would have to get into playing video games. But now since there's a movie coming out,
I think we're not.
I was gonna say gotcha.
Gotcha. Well, I haven't seen the movie. It's not out yet, right? But it's got Matthew Lillard in it. Anything like that?
Five Nights at Freddy's is very, very scary. Yeah,
Feeling a little
very
woozy
scary
here,
game.
so I think we'll get to it for sure.
It's a good game, though. It's a great game.
But it has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger. That's right, right?
Animatronics.
Evil Chucky.
Who's next?
Chuck E. Cheese goes to hell.
Hi, my name's Jen. I'm from St. Louis. Hi. Hi.
Did you ever see us play at the Foo Bar?
You know, I did.
Just say
that.
yes.
Just say yes.
My question is for you, Spencer. It's actually about this whole convention itself. What gave you the idea initially to put together a whole convention?
Since I was a little kid, I loved, obviously, horror movies, and actually one of the main influences in terms of me getting into the genre was a place called Spooky World. It was in Berlin, Massachusetts, and I was probably maybe 5 when my dad first took me, and we got in the parking lot, and some ghoul jumped out at me, and I freaked out. I said, "Dad, I want to go home right now." He said, "Spencer, your shoes are tied. Let me just tie your shoe." Dad, get me the fuck out of here. So I didn't make it in the first year. We went back the next year. Same shit happened again. Ghoul jumped out at me in the ticket line. I got the hell out of there. So then, and actually we went to see Ernest Scared Stupid instead. Great film. R.I.P. James Varney, right? So my dad said the next year, "Spencer, if we get you there and you don't go in, I'm never taking you back." So I mustered up the courage, went in, blew my mind. It was the first time I ever met any horror celebrities, because after the Haunted Hayride, I met Kane Hodder, of course. Silver Screen #1. And George P. Wilbur, R.I.P., who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4 and 6. Not George Romero, George Wilbur. And from then, it just became a lifelong obsession. And Rock and Shock was a big influence on this convention. And as the band's following grew, especially in Massachusetts, it just seemed like the perfect time to start our own. So here we are. And thank you guys so much for coming and making this amazing. We really appreciate it. And who wants us to do it every year?
Just a warning for the people who partner with you, the hotel here and everything. You be careful you get into bed with this guy. I'll tell you. You squeeze an avocado, you're going to be ready to make guacamole. I'll tell you that much. It's tough. We had to work on this book together.
Who here would like to get into bed with Spencer?
You got partners all over. You told that Spooky World story yesterday with that Spooktacular fella. With the Spooktacular guys, they got that documentary. I saw them right in this room, and they told the same. I heard the same story yesterday.
And Spencer's a producer on that film.
That's a good story.
Well,
Great story.
I hear the same stories. I was just warning them, the Spooktacular documentary folks, to be careful of what they get involved with.
Mr. Merkel, we've heard that avocado guacamole thing about 4 times.
It's a Texas saying. We have a lot of sayings in Texas.
I believe we have some more questions from fans and friends.
Hi, my name is Darian. I'm from Massachusetts, and I just want to ask all of you, what's your favorite scary movie?
Mr. Merkin, what's your favorite scary movie?
Norma Ray. It's about unionization.
Showgirls?
Mine is, we have yet to see the conclusion, but it's called Welcome to Horrorwood.
Shaun of the Dead.
Hereditary. Train to Busan.
This is a new update, but The Thing.
If you've been in the panels, you know what my favorite horror movie is. Well, The Crow's my favorite movie. Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite horror.
And apparently Scream's in your top 5, as he told Skeet.
Hey, at least he knows I'm not bullshitting.
Hi, I'm Michaela from North Carolina. So my question is, I know the Ice Nine was the original name, so at what point in the inception of the band did you decide to add kills and why?
You're not from Indianapolis, are you?
Yeah.
Just check.
So we were named Ice Nine pretty much the first 5 or 6 years of our career, starting in high school. And right before we released Last Chance to Make Amends, I don't know if anyone knows that album out there. That was the first album that we were really going to release and press and make it, semi-professional. And we kind of got word that there was another band from Indianapolis called Ice Nine. I think at that point they had disbanded, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
A great hardcore band. And out of respect for them, and also the internet at that time was becoming really, really the vehicle for bands to distribute their music. Hulu was popping up in mp3.com and stuff. And so to basically differentiate ourselves from that other band, we decided to add the Kills. We actually already had a shirt that said Ice Nine Kills. And I really like the shirt, I like the acronym INC, and the rest is history.
That's it. So, Mr. Murphy, you can see he has a great respect for trademark law.
Hardcore. All right.
Yes. I'm right here. I'm Jamin. I'm from Colorado Springs.
Colorado!
So, being from Colorado, I've just wanted to hear, what was it like to perform at Red Rocks? Not once, but 2 years in a row with the Trinity of Terror tour and then the popular Monster.
Incredible. I mean, that's a bucket list venue, I feel like, for most musicians, and being able to get to play it twice in the slots that we had was pretty awesome. I don't really remember the second one. I had a concussion, but
When I try to describe the weight of playing at Red Rocks to my friends, they know what I mean when I'm like, my dad knows what Red Rocks is. But getting there, you have to like walk around for a little while, just like make sure it's real. And then the one aspect of playing the show there that it was so cool is like everybody seated is just going up vertically, like so you're actually getting to like keep like doctor recommended posture while playing to like look at the audience, which is like it's actually way easier on the back.
I think there are very few venues in the entire world that possibly compare to Red Rocks, whether it's stadiums or even really unique club type venues. That place really stands out on its own, and I don't think there's anything else quite like it.
That and the Lynn Memorial Auditorium, right, guys? Red Rocks, Lynn Memorial Auditorium.
Gillette Stadium, spring 2024.
Yeah. Who's gonna come see us at Gillette with Metallica? That's it? Yeah. We'll get you all free tickets, all right? Just see Mr. Merkin. Come up to him.
Hit him on DMs. He loves DMs from H fans about free tickets.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
His phone number is 78.
Where's that code?
Oh wait, it's Texas.
No,
Who's
it's
next?
214.
He's right. He's ready. Just go for it.
And an observation here. First of all, statement is, I can corroborate what Attorney German said last night. Absolutely killed the audience in Lynn. Thank you. I also want to state to Mr. Merkin, you did come by our booth today, and you also crop dusted us on the way. So to
that's that all red meat diet.
I was shocked that you were able to walk over to our booth to begin with because you have no spine. And I would appreciate it if you did not disparage Mr. Charnas any further.
Well, thanks very much for that last question. We'll keep it to just questions and not statements of libel, please. So thank you. I don't think that happened.
You're dirty, Mark.
Hi, I'm William from Indiana. This is a carryover I wanted to ask last year, but I didn't get a chance. Mr. Merkin, Mr. NRA might not like it, but I don't like him either. I was talking to Nadia at the last year's karaoke party, and the shower scene got brought up, and she mentioned her being with a woman in the video, and how she just kind of gushed about LGBT stuff, and I think I can speak for a lot of the fans in here that a lot of us are LGBT, and I just wanted to know how that came about, or like your general like support thoughts, or like what your thought process was doing that in the video, that sort of thing. You can get that scowl off your face, Merkin.
I know Mr. Merkin has a lot of opinions about this, but let's let the band.
I'll hold my thoughts.
Thank you.
The question wasn't for you, Merkin.
I'm not going to answer.
It was for Spencer.
We fully support you guys. We love you. We don't care. We don't care who you go to bed with, as long as you come to our show.
Hi, Vicky from London.
London.
I was just wondering, is there any difference in preparation between your sort of huge stadium shows like the ones with Metallica and the smaller venues like last night? Is there anything different you bring to those shows, or is it pretty much the same however size arena you're in?
The other guys can chime in too, but I will say it's a lot more difficult during the Metallica shows. We're playing in the round, right? And it's broad daylight, so we don't have the luxury of lighting and kind of more atmosphere. So a lot of the kind of gags that we do, which are gags, Mr. Merkin, this is all make-believe, we kind of have to take some extra steps so the people that are behind us, because when we're playing with Metallica, there's people in front of us and behind us, so that we don't give away some of the magic tricks.
Yeah, I think the sets have been chosen specifically not only to cater to the crowds that we're playing in front of, the different style of crowds, whether it's Metallica fans, whether it was Lamb of God fans, whether it was our own fans. We kind of had to cater the sets to what songs we could play that visually were going to work on specific stages that we were playing. So being able to be creative and come up with new ways to do It Is the End, or new ways to do funeral arrangements and stuff to make it still work and still be enjoyable for the whole audience was challenging and fun.
Very good. I think one of the other things that I noticed within the first few shows is that our set time is much shorter than when we played like last night, where we got to play 80 minutes or something, right? So we try to cram as many songs into a smaller amount of time as possible, so there's not a lot of downtime. We played a much shorter set, so I was assuming it'd be much easier to get through, but by like the third song, I realized how I'm in terrible shape still, even after like 6 months of touring, I guess, so yeah.
Joe, last night was the longest Einstein Kills show ever, I think.
I think it might be.
I was there, it felt pretty long, I'll say that. It was a lot to sit through.
Do we have any questions in the back? No one has really gotten a question back here.
I'll run to the back. And while the mic is headed back there, I have a question for Patrick, which is the popcorn bucket drums.
Okay, it's on.
Those are popcorn buckets,
sorry.
right?
My name's Amanda. I'm from Rhode Island.
Shut up.
I thought he was going back.
Where are you? I can't see you.
I'm over here. Do you want me to stand up?
Over here.
I stood up for you. Okay, I'm from Rhode Island. My name's Amanda. Last year you mentioned that you might want to take Silver Scream to Broadway. Is that something you're interested in? Has there been any progress on that?
It would be called a music kill. What do we do? That is a trademark term, so your next book better not be called that.
Broadway.
Off Broadway. So yeah, you guys want to see that?
I tried to ask a question about a drum set. That's why.
It's okay. Overlooked. It's cool.
Yes, JC!
What was the question there?
They're popcorn buckets, right?
Oh,
That's what they look like.
Yeah, yes, it is modeled off of bloody popcorn buckets. They're not actual. They're made of wood. Drums are made of it's wood, metal, and plastic on top, but it looks like popcorn buckets. SJC Custom Drums did a very good job at that.
Tried to shine a spotlight on the drummer and got slapped in the face twice.
Hey y'all. Hi, Raul.
Where is Raul?
Born and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Shout out 978. My main question is this, and Spencer, you probably remember me. I was the dude with the bloody Letterman jacket at your meet and greet.
There you go. I knew you looked familiar. Yeah, see it.
My main question is this, as when it comes to the songwriting process and everything, like, do you guys have like a specific list of what movies you have to tackle, and like those that are kind of the maybes?
Sort of, yeah. We kind of just come up with a master list of all movies that we love, because that's the first prerequisite. We have to love the movies. And then we kind of go through and figure out an array of songs that are going to be different enough from one another, you know? We don't want to do too many about the same kind of thing. Whenever we've run into something like that, you know, when we did the Silver Scream 1, Friday the 13th and Halloween are obviously different movies, but there is a similarity that runs through them. So that's why we decided to do Stabbing in the Dark from Michael Myers' perspective and Friday the 13th from the Dead Counselors. But yeah, it's all about just coming up with a list of movies that we feel you guys will love and that we know like the back of our hands. We can't say. Eric.
NBA.
Hello. NBA. FLA.
My name is Joshua. Most call me JJ. I'm from Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Plymouth. What up?
My question is, there have been many, well, it's known that Spencer Charnas has charges against him for murder, but, so.
Allegedly. There's no charges that have been filed.
Allegedly, but it's a known criminology fact about the spouse. You always check the spouse first. Does anybody have any thoughts that Nadia could have been the person that committed the murders?
No. I haven't seen Nadia in like 6 months.
She's not here, right? Is she here? Okay, good.
Interesting theory.
Mr. Merkin, you want to weigh in on this? Have you even considered other suspects?
Yes, I have. All suspects have been exhausted. Let's just leave it at that.
Exhausted?
Yes. I have. Thoroughly. Well, that's just ridiculous. So thank you very much. And let's go to the people with the microphones. Both up here and in the back. Against me right now is what I'm watching. Watching a witch hunt. You got Salem, Massachusetts right down the street.
Oh, the West Merkin 3, I guess.
Hello. My name is Noah. I'm from the itty bitty state of Rhode Island. And places. So my question is actually for Miles specifically.
Where are you? I can't see you.
Oh,
I can't even see where you're at. What is this? Hello.
My question is actually
We're the same.
specifically for Miles.
My question for you is, why do we look the same?
You look just
I'm honored that you think so. How is it for like the change of pace between, going to Ice Nine when you're normally, boy bearer or interloper? Like, how is that changed?
I mean, it's definitely, it's a whole different world. And I think not only, musically there's similarities in some senses, they're both like, metal bands and whatnot, but I think the Ice Nine brings a really cool theatrical aspect to it, so that's kind of been cool to be a part of and add that into, hello children. Sorry, child.
I think that's
but yeah,
I think
it's
that's
really
Boyd
cool
Murphy.
having that aspect of like
Boyd
stage
Murphy.
performance live and having to kind of pay attention and be aware of other environments in that way. I think it's really exciting. But it's been a lot of fun. Everyone's a great group. Everyone involved is awesome. I'm having a blast. And,
I will say you learned a lot of songs in a very small amount of time. And,
to put it bluntly, Miles really saved our ass, so keep it up for him.
I can attest to that. I made the first initial phone call to Miles, and I think I asked him if he could do a whole lot in a very little amount of time.
Yeah.
Stepped up to the plate really quick.
15 songs in 4 days.
Whoa!
Thought my brain was gonna break.
It's a nerd.
Yeah, it's just nerd stuff. It's all good. It's been a good time, and I appreciate the question.
My name is Scott, and I'm from Tennessee. This is for Mr. Merkin. You said that you thought Spencer had committed these murders because you talked to all the families and everything. Aren't
Right.
families usually looking for the killer right away? So anyone you implicate, they're going to assume that that's the killer?
Well, I don't think I think these families are a little bit more discerning than that, and they, of course, are the victims, so let's not slander them here. The families were not satisfied, for the most part, with Ian Black being named the killer. They were looking for answers, and sure, I provided them answers. It doesn't mean that I made something up and just invented something out of thin air. No, I carefully came upon Spencer as being a possibility through the notes, and they were satisfied with that, so sue me.
I think they are.
Exactly that.
Walked into that.
They are.
Walked into that.
Hi, Nicole from Michigan here.
someone who can get you off a murder, apparently.
So, as we all know, the devil is in the details. How much of your merch do you design or are you involved in? Because
Where is he?
it's just amazing.
He's right over there.
Mike! Woo!
Everybody, welcome to the stage, Mr. Michael Cortado.
The idea behind the popcorn bucket drum set. He did it.
I made that popcorn.
Finally, I got an answer.
He's right, you can't eat it. It is wood.
So every Ice Nine Kill shirt you pretty much see for the last, 5-10 years?
Long time.
Has been made by this very talented gentleman.
Thank you, everybody. I said it before, I'm very tired.
Yeah, and not only have we given him a great job, we've also ruined his life because he can't do
Absolutely.
much
It's terrible.
besides work on Ice Nine Kills.
The only shirt he didn't design is the one that I discovered is for sale on Roy Merkin's personal website. It's Mr. German. Again,
I want nothing to do with
I
it.
don't sell any
Yeah, you
merchandise.
sell merchandise.
I don't sell merchandise. I don't sell
Questions, books.
You guys can keep complimenting my art, by the way. Anytime.
It's
You wanna come and see it?
fantastic.
It'd be nice.
How many other bands do you know that design that much merch every single month? A new product line, right?
So people here, they do or do not like the Nightmare on the Ninth? Okay. I'll keep it up. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kat. I'm from Long Island, New York. And I did have a question for the band. After a show, how do you guys like to wind down and relax?
Go to the dentist usually?
Yeah. Joe usually starts by screaming, yelling, screaming, throwing things around, getting all of the last energy that he had from the show out in the dressing room. We've been asked to leave multiple venues. Pay a lot of damages just from him. A lot of chairs being thrown, being stacked, being knocked over. This guy's a little ball of energy, you know, and he just has to get some of that out sometimes. So after the show, he usually goes 5-10 minutes destroying the green room. We usually take a shower together, and then we get out. Yeah, that's all true.
I usually spend it just running away from Joe as he's screaming strange things at me and trying to put cucumbers on my eyes, telling me everything's fine.
I like to look if there's anything in the venue that I can steal.
Besides everyone's
Ricky, I don't know
hearts,
what to say.
right? I think we can do a couple more questions before we kick that in here, right?
Go to
My
that.
name is Dexter. I'm from Maine, so it doesn't seem far, but it was. My question is actually for anyone who does metal screams. It's a two-parter question. First of all, how many years did it take you to learn it? And second of all, what is your favorite out of all of them?
Favorite what?
Metal scream.
Like a singer or like a technique?
Like the styles, like a fry scream or a growl. Like which one
False chord.
do you prefer?
Yeah, I talk about vocals a lot, but so Melissa Cross actually came up with the terms fry and false chord, and she recently on the internet actually said she kind of regretted coming up with those terms because it's really just your voice. It's, you know, there's ways that you can sound different, like you can make it high and low, but there's like a right way to get sounds out of your mouth, and a lot of times like a vocal coach can really help with that, just to make sure you don't do anything that hurts you. But the one thing that I learned that really made it easy to show other people is sometimes you can learn how to make like a pterodactyl noise by inhaling, like that. And if you continuously inhale and exhale trying to make the same sound, you'll eventually kind of find it.
I think for me, I think all of us do vocals. It took me probably maybe a year to get pretty comfortable, you know, and you have to fight breath control. It's kind of like a conditioning thing. It's almost like using a muscle. You know, if you don't work out for a long time, then you go power lift, you're probably gonna hurt yourself. And then favorite type, I don't know. I like mids to highs. Who's doing
Joe
this?
loves highs. Joe's a big fan of the highs. I think Joe's technique is
Be loud and scream high.
yeah, not a lot of technical stuff going on there. You're kind of newer to screaming though. You're much more of a singer than you are a screamer.
Yeah, but it is fun. I do.
It is
enjoy
fun.
doing it, yeah.
I enjoy doing it as well. I think my original, when I first started like in bands, I was a vocalist and I probably learned how to scream, back in like the 2007, 2008. And then I stopped really doing that when I started playing drums full time, and then realizing that I could do both was kind of fun. And then they started making me do it. So now I get to scream and play drums at the same time, and I more just yell. It's more of you put a lot of power behind yelling. I don't know what that technique's called, but yeah, I think it's just called screaming. Yeah,
Yelling, yeah.
Kind of just pretend that you're at like a sports game, but you put a little bit more behind it. Go team!
I never learned shit. I don't know. I just get really angry up there and pretend I'm killing someone. Pretend. Okay? So there's a big distinction between reality and things.
And Melissa Cross, as Ricky mentioned, she's amazing. Zen of Screaming is her DVD, which has a lot of great advice, and she's worked with Randy from Lamb of God and Howard Jones from Killswitch and
Ricky from My Son Kills.
Ricky from My Son Kills, a bunch of great singers. And by the way, if you think she regrets coining that term, I coined the term metalcore.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Are you serious?
You regret that?
You also created the internet, right?
That was my good personal friend Al
Al
Gore.
Gore. Wait, sorry.
I just want to make sure that everyone knows the term Silver Scream is trademarked by Spencer Charles.
Yes.
We do have to wrap up the Silver Scream Con 2. This is the book, whether it's full of fiction, fantasy, lies, threats, libel, however you would like to describe it.
I'll let them be the judge, but I think it's a very plausible story, and I hope that they read it with an open mind and open hearts and open books and open wallets.
Spencer, what do you think about a Silver Scream?
It's based on a true story. The original title was based on bullshit, but
Silver Scream 3, what? Yay, nay?
the convention or the album?
Whoa.
Who wants both?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.